Another Sonic movie video? Yeah, look, I'll be honest. The first one I made was mainly a joke because I promised I would do it. But upon watching the movie, I realized I didn't really have much thoughts on the matter to really do a video. Then, shortly after it was done, I realized that I did in fact have a topic I could talk about for the movie. Oops. So, this is that video. And no, I'm not doing the makeup thing again. Just, no. Blue streak speeds by Sonic the Hedgehog. So, Sonic, the video game movie that managed to please a lot of people despite it not being anything remotely resembling the games. Besides featuring Sonic fighting against the mad scientist anyway. And yeah, Dr. Robotnik in this feels less like his video game character and more like an original but similar character played by Jim Carrey. Don't get me wrong, I actually like Jim's performance here for the most part. I'm just acknowledging that it's not the villain we know from the games.
Do I look like an imbecile?
Everything else? Yeah, I don't remember Donut Lord or Sonic having electric powers, though that addition kind of makes sense, so okay, fair point. Anyway, despite this having as much similarities to the games as the Super Mario Bros. Movie had to the Super Mario Bros. Game, why is this way more beloved? Cause I gotta be honest, even though I enjoyed this movie, I was not as entertained as I was with the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now this isn't some lazy versus video, it's just me asking what did Sonic do right, besides altering the design, which I admit definitely went a long way to making it better for everyone. Now, to be clear, when I say this doesn't resemble the games, I'm not just talking about the plot being different from any game, because the status quo of the games, and realistically even the shows, tend to change. Sometimes Sonic only lives amongst animals, sometimes there's people who coexist in this world, and sometimes the humans are from other dimensions. No. What I mean is the whole setup is not Sonic. Sonic is from another world, which, fine, that's happened before with Sonic X, but his speed is a secret for the most part because people want his power. Okay? When he's nearly captured as a toddler, his owl guardian mother gives him rings to go hide on another planet. Turns out Earth is the planet he hides on. And during the next decade, he hides in a small town named Green Hill. Where he's a secret that only the town kook seems to believe in.
He calls me the Blue Devil.
Sonic acts like your basic kid, messing around, playing games, all that jazz. One day, his loneliness gets the better of him, and he accidentally creates an electric surge that knocks out the power in the entire area. Again, not a power he's ever had, but okay. Resulting in the US military stepping in to see what's going on, sending in the most annoying yet smartest man they've got, Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey. But Sonic finds help from the sheriff of Green Hill, Tom, played by James Marsden. And they go on a road trip to find Sonic's rings, so he can escape to a new planet. Now, Sonic could have done this alone, but he doesn't know the directions to where he needs to go, so that's why the road trip happens.
I have no idea where I'm going. B, saltwater stings. See, I shouldn't even be on this planet right now, but I am.
Yeah, this is more like your standard kids film than a Sonic feature. Less high-speed adventure, more road trip hijinks that you might have seen before in another movie, and somehow, it's still okay. Yeah, it's an okay movie.
Sonic 1?
So it's a movie that just features Sonic. Basically, yes. It's not deep in the Sonic lore, there's no Chaos Emeralds, Sonic doesn't really rescue animals outside of Turtle in the opening minutes, Robotnik isn't out to conquer the world, he's just hired to figure out what happened, and he wants to harness that power to make more machines, it seems, and if you switch some names, change the talking animal to something else, no one would really notice. I mean, sure, there are some great bits that do feel like something natural for Sonic, like when we see him run fast, when Robotnik fights him in the third act, and those obvious Quicksilver references, but those don't happen often enough to say this is a Sonic movie. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Again, I thought it was fine. I'm just surprised that so many people are fine with that. With how little this actually feels like the games you remember or the cartoons, you'd think this would be much more hated, except it isn't. Despite barely any connections, it managed to become a well-beloved movie for plenty of people. As for why I liked it, honestly it comes down to a few things. First up, yes, Jim Carrey doing his classic stuff was neat to watch again. Sure, not all of it lands, and I'm willing to admit part of the charm is that it has been a while since we saw him do a role like this, but still, I can't deny there was fun in seeing him be a mad scientist with drones at his disposal. The other major factor in why I enjoyed this is Sonic, of course. Not just the redesign, which again is what I imagine won most people over, but Ben Schwartz was really good as Sonic. A solid choice that I don't think enough people are crediting.
You are national treasure.
Yeah, Sonic's design in the final product was great, but the voice is what gives it life. And it's why when I initially saw the movie, I figured that even if they had kept the ugly design, people still might have enjoyed it in the end. That belief kind of falls apart once you re-watch that old trailer. Ugh. The movie Beyond Sonic and Robotnik, though, I wouldn't say was bad, just generic and pretty much standard. James Marsden as a cop in a kids movie plays exactly as it sounds. His wife is pretty much non-existent, there's a few funny bits regarding the sister-in-law, and some townfolk manage to get a laugh. But there's just nothing special going on, to be honest. The closest we get outside the hero and villain are a few Easter eggs for fans, but that's not enough to make this stand out more. I remember even the first time I saw it, I was already mentally checking out in a few scenes, especially during the road trip portion of the movie, because I just kept thinking that it was all too predictable, and none of it was unique or required Sonic. It could have easily been Bugs Bunny in the truck, and there would hardly be a difference.
Sonic won.
That Familiarity is where Sonic 2020 had me checking my watch a lot. I still think it's a fine movie, but nothing more, and I can't say it's representative of the franchise.
Let's drop this increasingly humiliating topic of conversation.
Take something like Detective Pikachu, for example. While true, it's based on a specific game, most never played it, and most who saw the movie were familiar with the franchise through the anime and different games. Yet still, Detective Pikachu felt like a Pokemon movie. It had a style all to its own. The roaming Pokemon and society built on them went a long way to making it feel like a movie of the franchise. You can't just swap them out with anything else and expect the same feeling. Sonic wasn't laid out that way. It lacked a unique feel in huge chunks of the movie. As varied as the Sonic lore has been over the years, there's always been a consistency to how Sonic acts and how the world reacts to him. Even with Sonic X, the anime where Sonic teams up with a human kid, which is perhaps the closest thing to this new movie in terms of franchise material, Sonic is a hero to his people, not some refugee running from his problems. And just to be clear, him being a refugee wasn't necessarily a bad angle to do this, but we could have gotten him as a hero at least. As mentioned earlier in this video, we see a hint of Sonic helping animals, a trait of the games in the franchise, as we see him save a turtle, but this is glossed over and just doesn't come up in the film afterwards. Elsewhere, the movie could have also shown that aside from being heavy on drones, Robotnik was an animal abuser, or using animals to power some equipment like in the games. Basically, there were ways to make
Sonic won.
this feel more like a Sonic movie while keeping the overall premise.
Something is clearly wrong.
In the end though, does it matter? Even if it weren't for the COVID pandemic, Sonic was already going along as a hit. I doubt it would have been the biggest hit of the year, but it definitely would have been one of 2020's success stories, regardless of what happened.
Sonic won.
So, what did Sonic do right? Besides the redesign, well, I think it comes down to my own interest in the film. People got nostalgic for Jim Carrey, and Sonic not only had the right design in the end, but a good voice to match.
We gotta see it.
And as lazy as a lot of the aspects were, the movie did manage to get a few funny jokes, and the cast at least put in some effort to the predictable average stuff. So it was amusing to watch for most people. Also, let's not forget, even before COVID, 2020 was not off to a great start. And of course, due to COVID, so many movies have just been delayed, so I imagine that lack of competition, and this being among the few new movies available, it just became a common one for a lot of people to watch. All that lighthearted escapism and reminders of fun stuff from our childhood resulted in it being a fairly well-liked movie, despite not really being a Sonic movie, more like a movie that just features Sonic, which is okay, honestly. I mean, if you can be entertained, why does it really matter in the end, right? That being said, for the sequel, please include more stuff that we know and love from the games. You're already promising tales, so come on.